We will now begin the 5-minute question period of the hearing. I would like to remind the members that Mr. Lefelt is here under a duly issued subpoena to answer questions at today's hearing after refusing to appear voluntarily. I now recognize myself for 5 minutes for the purpose of asking questions. No one is here today to harm transgenders. We are here to defend girls and women, and we are here to defend Title IX and to uphold President Trump's executive order that all biological males stay out of girls' and women's sports. Here displayed behind me is the post that Mr. Lefelt put up. Mr. Lefelt came in here today saying that this is game day. You're right, Mr. Lefelt, this is game day. Under the Ted Stevens Act, USA Fencing and other national governing bodies that are authorized to oversee individual sports on a national level have a certain obligation. One such duty is to provide support and encouragement for participation by women, where separate programs for male and female athletes are conducted on a national basis. Another statutory duty is to promote a safe environment in sports that is free from abuse of any amateur athlete, including emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. Mr. Lefelt, as the board chair of USA Fencing, surely you are aware of these legal requirements. That means you believe that forcing a woman to compete against a biological man promotes a safe environment that is free from emotional abuse. Is that correct?
One moment. A point of order, please, Madam Chair.
You're not. Okay,
Madam Chair, I have a point of order. The document that you have up behind you is a misrepresentation of the actual post. It appears that you're trying to misrepresent a witness here who you use subpoena powers against.
This is not, Ms. Stansbury. Ms. Stansbury, this is not a point of order.
The actual picture.
Ms. Stansbury, you're not recognized. Ms. Stansbury, you're not recognized. Ms. Stansbury, you are not recognized.
Madam Chairwoman,
you are not. This is not a point of order, Ms. Stansbury. This is not a point of order.
What this committee does, you are misrepresenting the witnesses. You are misrepresenting policy. You are misrepresenting.
Ms. Stansbury, you're not recognized. You're not recognized. That's not a point of order. You're abusing the rules of this committee.
What's up, Patriots? Welcome back to the channel where we defend truth, freedom, and good old-fashioned American common sense. Today, we got a wild one. Folks, I just watched a shocking congressional hearing clip courtesy of Forbes Breaking News, and I've got a lot to say about it. The video is titled Breaking News. All hell breaks loose as Melanie Stansbury calls out Marjorie Taylor Greene's comment. But let me tell you, the only thing breaking loose is the liberal delusion in that hearing room. This was a hearing on women's sports, particularly the growing, dangerous trend of biological men competing against girls and women. Now, if you're a normal, sane American, you know this is madness. Girls deserve fairness, safety, and their own space in sports. But what we saw in that hearing was a full-blown ideological battle. Let me set the stage. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, love her or hate her, came into that hearing swinging hard for women's rights, actual women, not men who claim to be women. She brought receipts. She brought passion. And she brought accountability to a man named Mr. Lefelt, chair of USA Fencing, who refused to show up voluntarily. That's right, he had to be subpoenaed. And what was the issue? Well, USA Fencing is allowing biological males to compete against women, and even basing where they hold competitions on abortion access and LGBTQ policy friendliness.
This is the post of Mr. Lefelt that he posted himself on his own social media. And that's exactly why we have it displayed here today, because Mr. Lefelt believes that he can take away the opportunities for women to compete in USA Fencing, and he thinks this is game day to defend biological men. Now, we're going to return to my time as chair of this committee. Ms. Turner, refusing to compete against a man cost you a 12-month probation. Did you feel you were in a safe environment, free from abuse, when you were told you must compete against a man in an all-out competition?
No.
No, that wasn't free from emotional abuse. Ms. McNabb, when a biological man spiked a ball into your head, were you free from physical or emotional abuse?
I was not.
Ms. McNabb, did you feel you were placed in a safe environment when you faced a biological male in a girls' volleyball game?
No, I did not feel safe.
Ms. Turner, were you safe when you were forced to go up against a biological male in your sport?
No, I was not.
Mr. Lefelt, do you think your perception of what constitutes a safe environment for women is more valid than that of a woman testifying here today?
Congresswoman, thank you for your question. There was a study that was published in 2010 regarding the safety of sports in the Olympic movement. There were 51 sports that were assessed as part of that study.
That's a yes or no question, Mr. Lefelt. Do you is that your perception? You're sitting next to a young woman who received a brain injury from a biological male. Is it safe to compete against biological males? Yes or no, Mr. Lefelt?
What happened to Miss?
Yes or no?
What happened to Miss McNabb?
I'll take that as a no. Mr. Lefelt, do you think forcing a woman to change in front of a man in a locker room is abusive? Yes or no?
Congresswoman, I'm not sure I
Do
follow
you
the
want your
question.
daughter to change in front of biological men in locker rooms? Yes or no?
My daughter isn't really something that should be part of this hearing,
I'm gonna.
respectfully.
If you're not a quick no on that, we're going to take that as a no. We're going to switch gears to USA Fencing site selection policy. You're the chair of USA Fencing. You should be familiar. Mr. Lefelt, what does abortion have to do with fencing?
Congresswoman, that policy was passed before I got on the board. However, when
You're the chair of the board now. What does abortion have to do with fencing, Mr. Lefelt?
I'm on the board, you're correct, and I offered an amendment to that policy back in December, Congresswoman, that allowed for more flexibility at the city level.
To get an abortion while you're at fencing competitions? I
And
don't
it
think
also
so.
allowed for better convenience. So we enhanced the policy
More
under my
convenience to
leadership on the
Planned
board.
Parenthood centers. Mr. Lefelt, why does USA Fencing states abortion policies and LGBTQ policies in its site selection process to determine where tournaments are held? That's part of your site selection process, is abortion availability and states and cities that are friendly to LGBTQ policies. How is that part of USA Fencing?
Congresswoman, we try to have tournaments in sites that are safe for all of our members, period.
So you don't think red states are safe for fencing athletes?
Red states are absolutely safe, and we regularly host tournaments there, including Texas, Ohio, Missouri.
No, your site selection policies are based on abortion availability and LGBTQ availability, not on fencing, not on your sport. Now let's go a little bit further with this.
Madam Chairwoman, your time has expired.
You're not recognized, Ms. Crockett. Mr. Lefelt, you wrote a blog post where you said that one day your daughter
Madam Chair, on a point of order.
This is my time, and I'm the chair of the committee.
No, that was your time. Your time is over, and now we're asking, are we?
The chair has discretion to assign time,
I've lost
and you know
time.
it, sir.
I have lost
As long as
time.
we have that understanding, that's fine.
I've lost time.
I yield 2.5 minutes to the chair, lady.
Mr. Lefelt, you wrote a blog post where you said that one day your daughter might compete against a transgender woman, a biological man. You said that if she did, you might win or she might lose. But whatever the result, you hope she doesn't care about the outcome, because the important thing is that both she and her opponent enjoy the match. That's what you wrote in your little trans manifesto. But you came here today to win. And you came here today to defeat women in their own sport. So as you stand here before this committee today, you are a man that would tell your daughter to lose and enjoy it to a biological man. My time has expired, and with that, I recognize Ms. Stansbury to defend all the trans.
Point of order. Out of curiosity, is the chairwoman allowed to editorialize before every speaker on the Democratic side speaks, or is that part of her time, which we know that she went over?
It's not a point of order. You're taking Ms. Stansbury's time. I know you're trying to be chair of oversight, but Ms. Stansbury is the ranking member.
Chair would be better on this side. I do agree with that.
It's Ms. Stansbury's time.
I wish I was kidding. She grilled him on the facts. Is it abusive to force a girl to compete against a man? Is it safe for a woman to get hit in the head by a man in volleyball? Should young girls be forced to undress next to males in locker rooms? These are simple yes or no questions, but Mr. Lefelt danced around them like a career bureaucrat scared of the woke mob. And here's where it gets disgusting. When Greene tried to show a post Mr. Lefelt made, which he said shows his allegiance to radical gender ideology, Representative Melanie Stansbury, a Democrat, jumps in, screaming point of order over and over again like a broken record. No, Representative Stansbury Greene was representing the truth, and truth doesn't need your permission to be said out loud. And folks, it gets worse. Young women, like Miss Turner and Miss McNabb, bravely testified. One of them was literally injured by a biological male on the court, spiked a ball into her face. Another one was put on a year-long probation for refusing to compete against a man. Let me ask the question that every parent should be screaming right now. Why are we allowing this insanity in the name of inclusivity? We fought for decades to give women equal footing in sports, and now Democrats are throwing all away so they can virtue signal on TikTok. Then Greene reads from a blog post Mr. Lefelt wrote, where he basically says, I don't care if my daughter wins or loses to a biological man. I just want her to enjoy the match. Oh, well, isn't that cute? Because nothing says empowerment like training your whole life and then being told to smile while a man takes your scholarship. This isn't just about fencing. It's about principle. It's about protecting young girls physically, emotionally, and competitively. And it's about pushing back on a radical agenda that says biology doesn't matter. Truth is offensive. And if you don't agree with the left, you're a bigot. Well, call me what you want, but I stand with women. I stand with fairness. And I stand with the truth. Now, let me talk directly to USA Fencing and every other organization bending the knee to the woke crowd. Your job is to promote sports, not social engineering. Stop turning fencing into a battleground for radical ideology. Focus on skill, competition, and safety. Period. And to parents out there, wake up. This is happening at every level of youth sports now. If we don't fight back now, our daughters won't have a place to compete tomorrow. If you believe in protecting women's sports, hit that like button, share this video, and drop a comment below with I stand with women. Let's make some noise. Subscribe for more hard truths and bold takes the mainstream media won't give you. Stay strong, stay proud, and as always, God bless America.